Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Takeoff. This channel I have created only for the study purpose so that students who could not attend classes can watch this video. This will help them to get the basic knowledge in taxation. As I was discussing capital gain tax. So now we will move ahead with another topic in capital gain tax. But before that, as discussed in the previous video, cost inflation index. This is a chart from financial year 2001-2002 till financial year 2019-2020. So you can see this chart. This will help you in calculating the index cost of acquisition or index cost of improvement while calculating long-term capital gain or loss. As we know, capital gain arises on the transfer of capital asset. So what transfer means? Section 2 subsection 47 define this transfer in relation to capital asset. That is, first one is the sale, an exchange or relinquishment of asset. When the asset is sold, then that will be considered as transfer and capital gain will thus arise on that transfer. The next is extinguishment of right therein. Extinguishment means nullifying or suppressing any right. That will be regarded as transfer. Next is compulsory acquisition thereof under any law. When the government or any agency acquire any asset on compulsory basis, then that will be transferred and thus capital gain will be charged. Next is when the capital asset is converted into stock in trade. Here capital asset is not sold, rather it is converted in stock in trade, maybe for business purpose further, so that will be treated as capital gain. And when the stock will be further sold out, then that will be the business income or loss. The next is the maturity or redemption of zero coupon bond. Zero coupon bond is a bond which carry no interest. So when that bond is redeemed or matured, then that will be regarded as transfer. Next is transaction involving the allowing of possession of immovable property to be taken in part performance of an agreement. That is, under agreement there is selling or allowing any immovable property to be sold as a part of performance, then that is transferred and capital gain will thus arise on it. Next point is any transaction involving or whether by way of becoming a member or acquiring share in cooperative society. That is when the transaction is made or is done to acquire a share in cooperative society, then that transaction will be regarded as transfer of capital asset and will be charged in capital gain. We have seen what transfer means transfer with regards to capital asset. Now there are few transactions which are not regarded as transfer of capital asset, which is described under section 46 and 47. So now we will see what transactions are not regarded as transfer. The first one is where the asset of company are distributed to its shareholder on liquidation of company. That is when the company gets liquidated, obviously shares or assets are being sold out by the company. So that transfer or that distribution is not regarded as transfer, provided that asset of the company are being sold to its shareholder. The next is the distribution of capital asset on the total or partial partition of HUF. That is when the asset is being distributed to the members of HUF, then that distribution will not be regarded as transfer. The next is any transfer of capital asset under gift or will. This is very easy. That is when any transfer of capital asset is under gift or will, then that is not a transfer, and thus no capital gain will arise on that transfer. The transfer of capital asset by the company to its 100% subsidiary. That is when the holding company transfer their asset to 100% subsidiary, then that transfer will not be considered while calculating capital gain, provided that subsidiary company is an Indian company. Next point is any transfer of capital asset by 100% subsidiary to its holding company. When the 100% subsidiary company, in the previous point we have seen when the holding company transfer asset to its 100% subsidiary. Now here the transfer is by 100% subsidiary to its holding company, then that transfer is not regarded as transfer to be charged for capital gain, provided that holding company is an Indian company. Next point is any transfer in the scheme of amalgamation. That is when two companies get merged, then the transfer of asset by amalgamating company to the amalgamated company will not be regarded as transfer to be charged under capital gain. The condition is amalgamated company must be an Indian company. The next point is any transfer in the scheme of amalgamation of share held in an Indian company by amalgamating foreign company to the amalgamated foreign company, if the conditions are satisfied. That is, when the amalgamating foreign company held share in the Indian company, then when it transfers share to the amalgamated foreign company, then that will not be regarded as transfer to be charged in capital gain. The next is any transfer in the demerger of capital asset by the demerged company to resulting company. That is, in case of demerger, the transfer by demerged company to resulting company will not be regarded as transfer, providing the resulting company is an Indian company. The next point is any transfer in the demerger of capital asset being share or shares held in Indian company by demerged foreign company to resulting foreign company. That is, if the demerged foreign company transfers share to resulting foreign company, provided that share is held in an Indian company, then that transfer will not be regarded as transfer to be charged as capital gain. The next is any transfer or issue of share by resulting company in the scheme of demerger to the shareholder of demerged company, if the transfer or issue is made in consideration of the demerger of undertaking. In this case, the resulting company issue share to the demerged company shareholder, so that issue of share will not be regarded as transfer to be charged in capital gain. The next point is any transfer by the shareholder in the scheme of amalgamation of share held by him in amalgamating company, if conditions are satisfied. That is, if any transfer by the shareholder means when the shareholder in the scheme of amalgamation of transfer any share to amalgamating company, then that transfer of share by the shareholder will not be regarded as transfer to be charged in capital gain. The next point is any transfer made outside India of capital asset being rupee denominated bond of an Indian company issued outside India by a non-resident to another non-resident. This point means when a non-resident transfer rupee denominated bond of Indian company rupee denominated bond to another non-resident, and this transfer should be made outside India, then that transfer will not be regarded as transfer to be charged under capital gain. In the next video, I will be discussing more of capital gain, other sections and provisions. Till then, take care and thank you.